Welcome to Coming In Hot Car Edition. Yes, we are in the car. We're holding mics. John is driving, and I'm trying to rush to jury duty because that's how we roll, okay? So basically, on a Thursday, I have been called into jury duty. John let me so graciously know last night, and I almost had a breakdown, like I couldn't breathe. I was like, what do you mean? So here we are. We have to...
Make sure you avoid any officers because they might arrest you for looking so fabulous.
Yeah. Guys, Legally Blonde is arriving at the courthouses. Anyway, so we're in the car. We're filming a podcast because sometimes you just have to make shit work. So here we are. I mean, this angle is horrible. We have double chins. Let's go. So you guys, we wanted to talk a little bit about today because we want to talk about the whole like FOMO, JOMO, YOLO. Are you missing out? Are you not? The whole like drinking kind of phenomenon and basically all of that. Okay.
Especially with teenage boys.
Right.
Having teenage boys who are going to experience stuff.
Like our son, our 15-year-old is about to go to parties this weekend. I was like, I'm so glad. I asked the questions. Don't forget at night, that's when they chit chat at night before bed because they're avoiding going to bed. They chit chat a little bit more and they're willing to give you a little more info. And Sawyer always comes in at night to say goodnight. I just like love that time. And we just kind of chit chat and hang. I always just kind of ask him questions about school and the kids and what's going on. So I was asking him about Halloween. What are you doing? And he told me he was going to a party. 2 parties actually. He's busier than we are, and kind of just started talking to him about alcohol and is there going to be alcohol there? Has anyone been drunk yet? Have you had a drink? Do you know what it feels like to be drunk? And this might be controversial. I want him to come to me. I want him to talk to me. I want him to tell me things. I want to be the safe place. I am not stupid. I know things are going to happen. I know he's going to try things. I was a teenager once and I was fun. Okay. And I'm not saying that not drinking isn't fun. I don't want to ever, and I really realized when I said that, because I was like, you can have a lot of fun without drinking. So I don't ever want to say, oh, I was fun because I was drinking. But I wanted to say to him, I've been there. I've done it. You can talk to me. So has your dad. When he woke up with whipped cream on his face from his fraternity brothers. Anyway, but honestly, you guys, it is one of those things that I do want to talk to him and I want him to be open with me. I was very lucky. He was very honest with me. I was surprised that he really opened up and just said like, yeah, he might try something and, you know, it is going to be there. And some of his friends have had some alcohol. And I said, listen, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to say it's a good thing or go do it or provide it for you. But I understand that it may happen. So if this happens and you're in this situation, I want to just give you a few tips about just having knowledge, having power, and understanding knowledge is power. I just want him to know so he just takes a second thought before doing things because kids do stupid shit when they're drinking. I mean, I literally said this to John last night and John's like, oh yeah, I did them. All the things I told Sawyer not to do, John's like, I think I did all of them.
I think we want to hear stories about your first drinking experience. What was it like? What did you do? What's memorable or not memorable that you had to have Diana tell you that you did?
Oh God. My parents once said to me, when I think of Diana, I think of vodka. And that was my best friend in high school. Listen, I probably tried alcohol in probably 7th grade, maybe 8th grade. You started to go to hang out at people's houses. I grew up in New York City. I do think it was a little bit more fast-paced than I think normal high schools. You're leaving your apartment and you're out in the streets. You don't need a car. You can go anywhere, do anything. There's a lot more freedom and independence. So you do have to learn those street smarts a little bit earlier. And so we were out and about 7th and 8th grade. And so I think that's when we definitely tasted something, had something. Like in high school, we definitely had drinks. I will never forget when you go to all the Chinese restaurants in New York City, that's where they would serve you. So you would go to the
they want to make some money.
Right. So they would have a table of teenagers and we would literally order screwdrivers. That was my first drink. Orange juice and vodka. I thought I was playing it safe. So, high school was drinking like screwdrivers. I remember my senior prom. People were doing drugs in the bathroom. We were all drinking. People were puking.
You were drinking Mad Dog.
I don't think
40,
I was.
40. That
I was drinking, it was definitely like vodka. It was definitely like shots and
ugh.
vodka Red Bulls and vodka because you wanted to try to stay awake, but you wanted to party, but you wanted to have a buzz. It was a whole thing. Or the cranberry, what was it? Or then it went to the Cosmos. Then it went into
Vodka and cranberry.
Vodka cranberry. Then it went into the Cosmopolitans. Then it went into more wine drinking. But I think for me, the drinking, I know for some people it is a stress reliever. I know for some people who have social anxieties, they feel that it calms them. It makes them feel in a more natural state. John, do you feel that way?
Yes, it does.
But I feel like there's a point where, yes, you can kind of relax and feel good. But if you take it one step too far, it's a little contradictory to me because I like to have my glass of wine. I love to have my Aperol Spritz. But when John would be traveling for work and things like that, the one thing I would always say to him, I don't think it's appropriate for you to be out drinking and getting drunk with your coworkers. I don't think people seeing you drunk, seeing you slurring, seeing you do something stupid, not that you would, but it's one of those things that it just doesn't look good. I don't think people respect that. I don't think it looks cute. I don't think it looks professional. It's one of those things that I don't know if you want people to see you in that light that are looking up to you. So when you think about that, like, how do you translate that in general? Because there was this entire thing on moms drinking. And there was this whole TikTok saying how this mom was like, I'm so sick of how moms normalize having to be drunk to be with their kids or to go to a birthday party or to go to a soccer practice. They have to bring their jug of wine. You can't just hang out. And I think it's an interesting topic because it's at one point it's kind of fun, but then at another point are you using it as an escape? And how does that make you look? How does it make you feel? And as much as we think it relaxes us, like, you're not on your A game. I remember when Miley Cyrus made that quote saying that her being sober, she's now just ready. She doesn't have to prepare because when she'd be drunk and hungover, then she would have a gig or have something and she'd have to go into this whole prep because she'd be so hungover and she'd have to like fucking get her shit together to get ready. Whereas she's like, now I feel good every day. I wake up feeling good. If someone called me, I could literally jump in my car and go. So what are your thoughts, John? What was your first drunken moment?
Drinking's okay if you're able to do it in moderation. But yeah, have there been cases when, you do shots, you are drinking faster than what you should be because whether there's anxiety or it's just you're thirsty or it doesn't taste like anything. And I think that's the biggest danger is the speed in which you drink and not being aware. Because then the drunker you get, the more likely you're to do something like shots or you drink faster and you're not aware.
You're more easily convinced to do things.
Right. Just knowing that is really important. It's like putting limits on yourself and sticking to it. And it's okay to not be the fun guy or not stay out late. Like we say, nothing good happens after midnight.
I always say that to the boys all the time. My mom would say that to me. And the truth is, it's true. There's a point where you've had fun, you've talked. Like, what is it that you're doing? What's the point of being blackout drunk?
Now, a lot of fun can happen after midnight, but nothing good. There's really no memory that I have where something incredible happened after midnight. Or it's just bad memories that taught me lessons.
And also the way it makes you feel. Like, again, for me, I hated, and I still did it, don't kid yourself, I hated waking up hungover. Like those horrible hangovers in college where you're desperate for your bagel and cream cheese and your Coca-Cola and your chips because you are dying. And like when you have to puke, when you can't function, like you have a pounding headache and then you've got to function the next day, those couple of hours can really destroy the next 24 to 48 hours.
Right.
And for me, I noticed that when I was younger and I would have auditions, there was moments where it was really irresponsible of me to go out drinking or going out and having fun before something that was really important to me. And I don't know if I was self-sabotaging. I don't know if you just didn't want to miss out, this whole FOMO idea, like you didn't want to miss out on something, but yet sometimes you have to sacrifice good things for the bigger picture, for that job that you want or that career that you want, and having to stay on your A game is really important and just a choice that you have to make. John and I talk about self-control all the time with the boys.
Right.
You know, we had a snack drawer growing up and we still do, and I still don't think the kids have ever gone in it. It's crazy.
Yeah, when their friends come over, they used to raid it.
Like savages.
Yeah, because they never had it.
And our boys had it and they could always have access to it, so they just didn't have as much of a craving for it. So I think, again, being able to be somewhat open, having good communication, because the one thing I will say, my parents didn't do everything right, but one thing I think they did do right was they were very open. They allowed me to be a teen. They allowed me to experiment, to do things. And they allowed me to have friends over. They weren't constantly on top of me and helicopter. My mom would always ask me questions and be cool about things. That it definitely made you not as desperate to sneak out. It didn't make you desperate to try things. I didn't have that same desperation because my parents were open about it. And they would let me take a sip of something, or they would let me try something. You know what I mean?
Right. My parents didn't.
Now, what were your parents like about alcohol?
My dad didn't drink. My mom would drink every once in a while, but I had an older sister they got to experience, so she partied a little bit. But we never talked about it. They never really brought it up.
Didn't you pee down a hallway? No one forgot about that one. Why don't you tell that story? I don't know if Sawyer knows that story.
Good thing I can edit this. Yeah, so one night we came home and I woke up to my mom shaking me. John, what are you doing? I was peeing down our wood stairs. She thought it was water rushing in, and she came. And good thing my dad slept like a log. And yeah, I was peeing down the stairs because I turned left instead of turning right to go to the bathroom. And
right, as you would. I would say now our friend Deanne has walked in on you on New Year's Eve with your pants around your ankles and you passed out on the toilet. And then recently at your 50th birthday dinner, just a simple sushi dinner, let's just say John woke up fully dressed, pants around his ankles on the floor of the bathroom.
Yeah, well, I went to sleep on the toilet.
I think you drink fast.
I do.
That's the thing.
I do overconsume.
You do overconsume when you do, because you don't drink a lot. But when you do drink, it's like you really can drink quite quickly. And I think you don't even taste it. I think that's where I'll be like, John, slow down. Or I'll be like, John, you don't need another one. Because I'm like, I don't think he realizes. And then next thing you know, I notice because I know the way he speaks. There's a slight slur. There's a slight difference in the way he's talking. If he's on a trip and he'd call me late night and I would hear, there's a certain voice that I know is the drunk voice.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it is. Just understanding how it affects you. That passed out drunk, something like that on a work trip, that would not be attractive. And I would be upset. I'd be like, what's the point? And why do you need to drink that much when you're with work people or not with people you really trust and are safe with? Because those people talk, right? I mean, I think that's always what always worried me. And even myself, like if you go on a movie set or you go anywhere and you're drinking and partying till late night, sometimes you say things, sometimes you do things, you know what I mean?
Right.
People are watching.
Right. It's not good. If you're in a safe place where you're not going anywhere, great.
And you're with people you trust, and obviously you can have a good time. We've all done it. We've all been there. I think it's an experience and it's a lesson you learn because you feel like such shit that you actually learn the lesson. So I'm not saying like not to go out and have fun, but I don't have that same need. And I really found it interesting, that conversation about the mom talking about the drinking, because besides teens and the drinking, I think the next hard time that people drink a lot is midlife, whether it's menopause, whether men go through their own breakdown and start drinking, you know what I mean? Like,
or they have to deal with their wives who are going through menopause. They use it as an escape. But I do think alcohol is becoming less of an escape, and other things are, like marijuana, drugs, other drugs.
Microdosing. I remember
Mushrooms.
sitting with somebody at a hair appointment telling me how shrooms are the next hottest thing and that all the moms are shrooming in their coffees at drop-off. I was like, what? I was like, wait, what school do you go to and how do I get in? No, but really I was like, wait, I don't understand. And apparently it was like, yeah, just take the edge off. So it went from, yes, like I used to say I loved a glass of wine every single night. I always had a bottle of wine open to take the edge off, like to cook dinner. For that end of day, I would be exhausted, I'd be overwhelmed, overstimulated, and I'd always be like, oh, let's have a glass of wine. Every play date, we would have wine. Not every single one, but a lot of the play dates we'd have wine. We were the moms that...
Because it's harder to share a joint in front of your kids.
True. Actually, great point. But it is one of those things that you do, it becomes kind of like a social norm. I will say in an elementary school, like some of the moms got wasted. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they'd be like literally falling over. They've fallen in bushes. They may have jumped over a fence. Like, we've been at soccer practices at 8 a.m. where people's Stanley cups are filled with wine, and it's 8 a.m. or have alcohol breath. And you start to notice these little things when you're a parent, you're not out as much, you're not drinking as much. You start to notice these little things. And I'm guilty of it. I'm not here to judge. I did have a glass of wine at a soccer practice. Like, maybe not 8 a.m., but like, we definitely would do it. Play dates, birthday parties, we would offer alcohol at the birthday parties. And in the comment section, everyone's like, why do you need alcohol at a children's party? Like, you can't hang out for an hour. Like, you really can't just do 45 minutes with your kids at a soccer practice without drinking. And you know what? That's just, I honestly never thought about it like that before. And it was always like, take the edge off. It's relaxing, or it's like you want to have fun with the other mom. But if I really sit and think about it now, I don't need it as much now. Like, I don't crave that take the edge off as much. You know what I mean? I don't drink wine before dinner or cooking dinner. I maybe have an Aperol Spritz when we're out for lunch or something like that, or we go out for dinner on a date night. I may have a glass of wine or a drink. But during the week, I would have a glass of wine every night. Me and Monica on a Sunday, we would have a whole bottle of wine. We don't do that. Yeah. We literally have not done that in 2 years. And it's weird. And I wonder sometimes, is it the headspace I'm in? Like, is it because I do feel good and I do feel purpose and I don't feel the need to escape and I don't feel that same need? Like, sometimes I need to take the edge off, of course, but I have a different perspective on it.
Do you think it's fun and brings back memories when you were in that state a long time ago, right? Like, that's why you do it? Or is it habit?
I think there's a little bit of habit because it is a social norm. Everywhere you go, someone offers you a drink. There isn't a single girls' night, girls' day, brunch that we aren't having a drink. Except the girls' lunches, though, when I meet up my friends during the week, once in a while we will have a drink and we'll have a glass of wine, but most likely no.
You never even finish your drinks, because I just know you always order and just leave it.
Yeah, like I'll have a couple sips and I'm like, yeah, I don't need it. And there is just this different perspective. I don't know if society's just changing a bit, because you do feel like alcohol isn't as, like, cool. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the blackout drunk, and I don't even think the kids as much think it's like this cool thing to be drunk. And again, how are your kids perceiving you and looking at you? And it was this entire conversation, as much as you're taking the edge off, like, what are your kids witnessing? That every time you go do something with them, you know, you need to take a drink, or you need to bring some alcohol, or you need something. And then some of the people in the comment section were actually saying they hated that their parents were kind of tipsy at the soccer games, or that they'd get a little loud, or that they, you know, when friends would come over and it's like their mom or their dad is like a little drunk, it's like embarrassing. And I was like, oh my God, like, you really sometimes don't think about that, because you do get a little feistier, you do get a little more, and you do, you know what I mean? And if you think your kids don't notice, they do. I mean, you see kids in preschool or in kindergarten saying like, what's mom's favorite drink? And they say wine. Right? The kids throw you under the bus. It's an interesting conversation, and I do feel better. I do think I am actually a better mom when I'm alert and when I have energy and when I feel good, because it's good in the moment. It's a good in the moment. John just yelled at me on camera.
Yes.
Watch him.
I said, look in the mic.
Look. Do it again.
What?
Do it again.
Look
how you
in
did
the mic.
With that eye. He just looked like his dad, Ray.
Well, I'm driving.
Yep. Just remind yourself.
Yeah.
Because his dad, when he's pissed, you don't want Ray pissed at you. Tell the truth. John?
No, I could see his nose flare.
We love you, Grandpa Ray! No, but so I think that it's just an interesting conversation, and I think it's, where is your headspace at? I'm curious as to what you guys think. I would love some feedback, your stories about the first time you were drunk, or how are you dealing with your kids? Because what they're watching at home, it's hard to argue when they start doing it if that's what you're doing. And if every day you're always opening a bottle of wine, or every day you're getting drunk or feeling tipsy or this and that, I do wonder how that affects the people watching.
Right.
Like your family and your husband, or it's your husband drinking all the time. I'm sure it's not a good feeling. Right?
I think it's with any drug or anything. What is the reason you're using it? Is it to escape? Is it to have a good time? Is it to overcome something, whether it's being uncomfortable? Is it to forget about something? Because it's medicine to people, or it's a drug, right?
Yeah.
And it's helping something cope or so.
And it is
realizing what it is.
A Band-Aid.
Well, and that's where, how do you have your kids perceive it? What is it to them? Is it an escape? But from what? And I think with this whole loneliness epidemic with men and with teens, especially teen boys, how do you help them like cope without turning to something like alcohol, drugs, where they think they have to take this to feel better?
Or to fit in, or to even have the capability of speaking. Because remember, they said like with COVID, a lot of kids were affected socially, and it does make you anxious. I suffer from anxiety, so I know what that feels like. And trust me when I say, does half a Xanax help? Yeah, it does. Like, I'd be lying to you if I said it does not make you feel better in that moment. But the feeling's always going to come back, and you've got to learn some coping skills. And figuring out, now I know when that feeling is coming on. I actually know what that feels like, and I'm aware. And then I start using my tools, the breathing, the getting outside, the taking the cold shower, I start doing things that I know work for me. So when John says that, it's like, how do we give the kids tools that, when you're in the situation, if you're feeling uncomfortable, what do you do? What do you say? How do you have an out? Because peer pressure is real. And it is there. And when you're in a room full of kids doing something, it is hard to say no.
Right. I mean, all we had in college or in high school, it's like you go to a party, what do? You
drink.
Sit there and talk, and you drink. You go out into the woods, wherever we would, near the airport, we'd go and sit
We'd
and
smoke
drink.
cigarettes and drink.
Right. And people would smoke. I didn't smoke, and I had marijuana when I was, I think, 16. But yeah, what else do you do? Unless there's a pool table or video games or something to keep you occupied. But I don't dance. I've always felt uncomfortable dancing.
Stop it. You dance.
I dance, but by myself.
Nobody's watching.
Yeah. But when I'm out and I'm like, no, I don't feel comfortable dancing, right? And yeah, will a couple drinks help? Yeah, it does.
It does, ladies. It does. We need that video from the wedding. That's the next video we need.
Oh, shit.
He put on a show for me. But yeah, no, I agree. It's like, John actually is a perfect example. He is definitely more quiet. Definitely a little bit more social anxiety, which worries me about Sawyer, because Sawyer can be that way.
Yes.
That is something. And then when John does have a drink or two, he definitely starts to talk more. He definitely loosens up more.
And then I drink more.
And then he starts to drink more and more because he's having fun and he's chatting. So it's interesting because, like, even for an adult that happens. So, like, how do you help your kid? Start to understand, how to feel comfortable, how to have those conversations, how to be able to say no. And then if you are going to have that drink, like I even said to Sawyer, again, I'm never going to promote this, but if you're going to do it, I was like, always having food in your stomach, always drinking water between every single drink, not overdoing it. And at the end of the day, when you drink, you don't know how it affects you. Until you know how it affects you and how much affects you, you have to go slow and steady, because the throwing up, the blackout drunk, something happening isn't worth it.
I also think is you help them make good decisions when they're not drinking, like, hey, it's time to leave, go to bed, right? And because if you're not doing that and when you're sober and you're not drinking, and if you do drink and you stay out late and you have an opportunity to go to bed or not, what are you going to choose? No, you're going to stay out, and then that becomes even worse. You got to know when to call it quits, right?
Well,
because you don't need to be the last person there. You're not missing out anything. Don't make anyone make you feel bad. Don't succumb to peer pressure, because if they're doing it now, they will do it when they're under the influence of something, right? So that's the biggest thing I worry about and want to look out for.
I believe he will make good decisions, but of course anything can happen and no one's perfect. We just want to lay the groundwork so that he can try to make the best decisions possible.
Yeah.
And that's all we hope for. I just think it's interesting to not feel the need anymore. And I sometimes just sit and wonder, is it because I'm happier? Is it because I'm feeling like my best self that I don't want to ruin it? When something feels good, you just don't want to ruin it. It's like when you're on a diet and you already fuck up and you're ready to eat and you're bloated, you're like, fuck it, I'll just eat 10,000 calories more.
Yeah.
Rather than, okay, no, start fresh, start over. But when you're feeling good, you're like, a donut. No one's eating a donut.
Right.
Like, I'm fucking in my tight jeans. So it's like that mentality. And I also watched this interview with Megan Fox, and she was saying about that her upbringing and her relationship with her mom was very complicated and very difficult. And they asked her, like, if you were going to paint a portrait in your mind of your mom, what would it be? And it was so sad, her answer. And it was like her mom draped across a couch, like crying, like depressed and kind of drunk or whatever.
Yeah.
How would your kids paint you? And if I think about my mom, I would picture her in bed crying.
Oh.
Like that's would be my strongest memory. So I just had to really put that question to myself and self-reflect and say, what do you want your kids to see?
Right.
Like, what do you want that imprint of you to be? And I don't want it to be some drunk idiot. I don't want to be making a scene anywhere. I don't want to be them walking in on me throwing up or passed out. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, I want the imprint on them to be of me smiling and happy and doing well.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to wrap it up, and we are arriving at the courthouses because I'm reporting for duty, everyone.
Caroline is coming in hot to the courthouse.
Get ready, guys. So don't forget to have open communication. Don't be afraid to talk to your kids. Our parents, I think, we're sometimes afraid to talk to us. Don't be afraid to talk to your kids. It's super important.
Yes.
And no judgment here. Everybody does whatever is best for their family. We're just navigating it all just like you guys. Leave a comment, leave a story, leave a question. I don't know. Leave something positive. Thank you for all the love and support. Love you all. Get up, get dressed. Let's do this.